Hi, welcome to the War Bunker again. Today what we're going to talk about
is Rourke's Drift by Warlord Games again.
We haven't looked.
No, we haven't.
No, we were looking at Spartan Games the other day.
because bolt action.
Yeah. So, do you want to tip the box towards us? Basically, we're going to do a little bit of an unboxing and talk a little bit about why we're so excited about this product. It was £175 from the UK.
Yep.
It took a bit of getting over here. When we originally asked about shipping, they said, just don't ask. Yeah, and we ended up having to get somebody to send, some of our relatives to send it out to us. Rourke's Drift though. Why is it such an interesting piece of history? Okay, so Rourke's Drift was basically in the Zulu Wars. And there's some
Native people.
Some Zulu Wars in Africa with their Agassi spears and the shields that everyone kind of associates with the Zulus. And they were led by their chief leader, Ketawayo. And one of the reasons for their uprising was to do with the fact that basically the British were oppressing them and trying to force them back and away. And they felt kind of hard pressed and really needed to rise up. Ketawayo, although they were basically using spears and shields, Ketawayo did try and encourage most of his men to buy as many guns as they could, but they were expensive, and although they did have guns during the Zulu War, they were not as well trained as the British Army.
And the Zulu Wars was between, well, it was just in 1879. It lasted about 5 months.
Yeah.
So you can see that technology advancement probably helped them.
Yeah. So
help the British. Of
course, the very, very famous line, there were Zulus, thousands of them. There were many more Zulus than there were British Army. But that didn't matter too much, because what did the British have?
Rifles.
Yeah. I bet you know what type of rifle.
Henry
Martini rifle.
Henry Martini rifle.
It was a breech loading gun. You loaded a bullet at a time. And yet, having rank upon rank of these guys, you could put a fair old wallop. This is a reenactment of
the Battle of Isla Duana, which was fought on the 22nd of January.
And this was a huge shock for the British Empire, because although they were outnumbered about 4 to 1, weren't they?
Yep. Yeah. The British only had about 2,000 men, and they were...
It was a massive British defeat. Basically, the 2,000 men got completely wiped out. But one of the reasons for this was that they were caught completely in the open, and that played to the hand-to-hand fighting of the Zulus. Yeah, that's another slide. And
this is the Battle of Rourke's Drift.
No, that's Islamwella. Still.
Oh,
you can see. Go back one actually. Go back one. This little thing. This is actually Islamwella, and sometimes called the Little Sphinx.
Yes.
Because it looks just like a sphinx, obviously. Okay, now this is a rather nice painting actually, depicting the battle itself
of Rourke's Drift.
Rourke's Drift. On paper,
the Zulus should have totally won this.
However, thanks to two of their officers,
Lieutenant John Chard and Lieutenant Bromhead,
the only 100 was it?
It was
between 100 and 200 because it varied during the day. Yeah. Defenders basically took this old farmhouse at Rourke's Drift and basically built it into a kind of fortification. I think if you look on the next slide, you can see they ended up putting boxes in front of to try and make it basically a firing line to make it very hard for the Zulus to advance upon them, and they had to jump up and basically face withering fire. But still, being outnumbered over 10-1 at this point, they didn't seem to have much choice. It's quite a historic engagement. In the end, the Zulu forces withdrew because they weren't being able to smash the farmhead.
Yeah.
And there were, in contrast to the Battle of Islamwella, which was an awful loss, this engagement at Rourke's Drift is the origination of more Victoria Crosses than any other engagement. And it was very famously turned into a film in the 1960s, Zulu, which is probably one of our favourite films.
Yeah. Well, one of my favourite films.
Oh no, definitely one of mine as well.
Yeah.
You're all going to die! Die!
Zulu. These are the days and nights of fury and honor, of courage and cowardice, that an entire century of empire making and film making can never surpass.
Okay, so enough history lessons. Let's see what's in the box. So, I'll bring it out here. Let's just take a quick look. Yeah, another reenactment of the epic battle there. And what have you got apart from a packing slip? Oh, and an advert for Bolt Action.
We have 40 Zulu warriors, which have been made. Well, they actually come on sprues, but I've made them.
You've pre-assembled them, haven't you?
Pre-assembled.
Well, yeah, cool. Let's actually take a bit of a... What I'm going to do is I'm just going to... So you've assembled them, but not quite got round to painting them. Always tricky finding the sweet spot where you can actually record on this thing. Now let's have a look. Ah, that's better, much better. Yeah. And apart from them, we've also got some of the British redcoats here. Rather fantastic. Now, do you get any of the special officers in this pack at all?
Yes, you get some special characters.
That's good.
I think they're at the bottom.
Okay, we'll get to them. We'll point them out when we get. So, how many British troops you get?
You get 20.
20 versus 40.
Yep. And here's a guy. He's a Zulu with a gun.
I don't really know why he's bothering with a shield, but I suppose it's all ceremonial at this point. Now, of course, it's not really the weight of this that comes with the figures, is it? No. Basically, because what you also come with, this guy's drunk. He needs a bigger base. The big thing that comes with it really is all the bits for the scenery as well. We'll get to that in a second. We've also got, what else have we got?
The 2 introduction brochure thingies
to the armies. So the British Line Infantry, explaining some of the figures and giving you some idea of how to colour them, as well as some stats to use later, because this isn't just a model; it's a game, isn't it?
Yeah.
And similar for the Zulu regiments, some things on there. Some stat line for black powder. Is that part of the black powder set or something?
Yeah.
That's like a Victorian era thing. Now what's this? So what are we looking at now?
That would be. Oh,
this is the.
That's the hospital.
Yeah, this is the Rourke's Drift barn. Is this MDF?
No, that's laser cut.
Oh, is it? I think the material's MDF. But it's laser cut. So just need to assemble that. Does it need to be painted, or is it?
No.
As it is?
I guess you could paint it, but yeah, on the back they've painted it.
Okay, cool. So that makes the bar, priding itself on no glue, just pop together. We've got one of these. If you remember, we had one of these. We've got a castle one of these, haven't we, somewhere? Yeah. This is pretty awesome. I think we've used it for simulating the hall of Edoras or something before now, like a yes. And this is the farmhouse. Cool. Oh, that's interesting. So there's got kind of a rattan thing here to put the roof on.
Yeah.
I guess you will have to glue that on. Cool. What else have we got?
We have the fortified ox wagon thing.
No, that's going to be pretty good. And that looks like resin. That is a resin piece. Yeah, you can tell that. And it's got a nice good weight to it as well, which is good.
Next we have the bit boxes with sandbags.
Yeah, these are the biscuit boxes, aren't they? Yeah.
You get 3 of those.
Excellent. I know we've got Imperial Guard over there, but can we just borrow? Oh no, we won't. We'll put one of these guys. Actually, bring an Imperial Guard figure over this way, because we are hoping to use these for multiple things. Yeah, and you can see how awesome is that.
Next will be just the pure sandbags. You get 3 of those too.
Cool.
And then you get 2 of the just pure boxes.
And these boxes would have made substantial things to hide behind, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
And in fact, with a line of troops behind it, you can see just how much these features will really kind of help to make kind of a fortification line, really, for your battlefield. And just to give you an idea, I mean, this is a 1940s example of a very similar box. It's very strong wood. This was used by the ammunition house in Wellington, and we managed to get hold of one. It's heavy enough by itself, isn't it? I don't necessarily think it would be the wisest thing to have a line of those with live ammunition, but these were biscuit barrels, weren't they? Or basically ration, because it was a rationing post, wasn't it? Like a
it's supply
post. Yeah. Oh, interesting. Yeah, cool. Yeah, that would give you some solid defense against the spear.
Next is the.
We're not done with fortifications yet.
No, it's the 4 brick walls, or actually.
Oh yes, because obviously being a farm, it originally had a bit of an outline to it as well. Again, you see this. It's these things, unfortunately, that add the weight to it, with good reason in a way, because they are quality pieces to the set.
Yeah.
Cool. We're still not done, are we?
No. Last is the special characters. Horse.
Yeah. Not many horses though. We were looking through some of the things for the game and some of the back history, and obviously during this engagement it was mainly fought on foot by the British Army, but there were some cavalry men involved, and I think they wanted to be outside the barricades, but it wasn't really such a clever idea. So here we have. I don't think we know quite. Are these just general guys, or?
No, each one is the character.
That's a Zulu horseman, is it?
The Zulu guy, yeah, with the horse.
Cool. Let's put him on a horse. Is he the general?
Yeah, I believe he's meant to be the prince.
Yes. I mean, the Zulus were incredible infantrymen, but they were operating far, far away from their supplies. Yeah. Oh, you found him on there, have you? Is he on the back page? No?
I think he's right there.
He's looking through the...
No, he's not on the back page, that's the thing.
Yeah, and you get several of the metal figure. Oh, he's gonna. I'm going to try and translate these. So that is charred. That I believe is Bromhead. That's Bourne. Colour Sergeant Bourne. And then somewhere we've got one Henry Hock. Oh. It must be him, or I've got Hock and Bromhead mixed together. Of course, Henry Hock in reality was a teetotaling private with an exemplary record, but in the film he's portrayed as a drunkard that didn't go too well by his surviving family.
That's Charles. That's Bromhead.
Yeah, that's the order I did it in. Charred, Bromhead. I just did it by accident, and they're exactly in the order they should be. Bourne and Hook. Obviously, they'll look a bit more different once they've
Painted.
actually been painted. But yeah. And potentially, actually, with your colour scheme, yeah, they could hide amongst your Imperial Garden. No one would notice. No one would be any the wiser. Actually, I actually quite like the idea of that, because we do like having unusual leaders for some of our campaigns, don't we? Mm. So some of the metal figures could actually see life infiltrating into a game. So let's look at a little bit at the website and some of the stuff that's on the website, and you can see that this is, once coloured up, this is the kind of thing that you can basically build from all this. Yeah, and as you said, they've actually painted it red brick and white and red brick. Next page. Shows you with the guys basically barricaded behind the sandbags. I don't think they were sandbags actually, were they? I think it was maize or corn or something. Yeah. The walls. Next one. And your fearsome Zulu forces, which of course you can buy extras and basically expand the numbers out. Pretty damn impressive. And more of the farm. I can't wait to finish building these.
Yeah, I mean it's really good, because if you look on the picture there, the roofs, you get very dynamic flow of gameplay.
You can actually fight inside the building,
and there's actually breach points,
ring to ring. Well. Now that's going to be pretty amazing.
Yeah,
because
if you see here, right there, you see they've broken through the wall.
This is really good, because we're at the currently, and we're probably about 12 months away from this, the way that we go at stuff, but we are thinking of building up a bolt action force, and we're looking at concentrating on the Pacific campaign, but that looks to me like something we could substitute for a Pacific fortification.
Oh
yeah. Well, for most of the Pacific Island fighting, it's just it's a few buildings and lots of jungle, and whereas we don't really have. I would love to have it in 28mm, like loads of French cafes and stuff, boulevards and farmhouses and stuff to do fights, but we don't really have those kind of buildings. But we do have buildings that will lend themselves a bit more to the Pacific theatre, and all these obviously help. Doesn't take much to turn these into a Japanese fortification at all. Pretty much everything can double up. Right, thumbs up. Do you think that's a good value set?
Definitely good starter set for you.
I think because there is so much scenery in there once we've assembled it. Yeah, I mean, you can see that the scenery set alone is what's a substantial amount of stuff that you've got.
Yeah.
If you're thinking of and it's quite generic as well, because I could see most of this could be used for Warhammer Fantasy, to be honest, if you wanted. Farmhouses are farmhouses. Sandbags are sandbags. it's all pretty much the same, isn't it? And also, so kind of can see it being used in more than just one theatre. The scenery. Be interesting to see the men once they're finished. You look for lots of scorched black. I still haven't worked out painting Zulus. I've tried to paint a few. I mean, I would love to basically work on like an African American unit for Flames of War, but they only saw limited action, and towards the end, you can't do the Normandy. They came in really as support, didn't they? And a very interesting thing, and basically a lot of black Americans kind of laid the boundaries of being recognised by getting involved in the war, and it was one of the last wars, thankfully. Well, it's a good and bad thing where really there was segregation in armies. When you look at Vietnam, there was a lot more integrated armies. Unfortunately, a lot more casualties as well.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's another story. From us though, that's it for today, and we're signing off. Don't forget to subscribe, tell us what you think, and we'll catch you later.
Goodbye.
See you later.